Hi, Mark Ambrick here from MSA. Today is Friday, August the 7th. We missed last week due to vacations and whatever, but we're back on track this week. So I guess over the last really couple of weeks, we've had a lot of really warm weather. The cold water pools have been closed. And unlike the Nipisiguit Restigouche that had morning-only fishing implemented, we were on the verge on several days of going to morning-only fishing, but we get a little break in the temperatures. But it's been that close that we're really on the verge of morning-only fishing. However, this morning the water temperature has dropped. A cooler night last night, and as I look ahead in the forecast, we are getting some cooler nights, and believe it or not, the nights are getting longer, so that's going to help. But there's not many fish moving. We still don't have any, the frames are in for the Millerton and Castle trap nets, but we haven't heard any reports that they're catching anything yet, so we really don't know what's moving, but anglers are saying the Northwest is pretty dead, and there's an occasional fish on the Southwest that comes in with sea lice, but there's no big round fish. So it's kind of the dog days of summer. But during the dog days of summer, our rivers now, the Southwest Miramichi is full of tubers. On that holiday weekend, it was just unbelievable how many tubers are coming down the river. And that is creating some problems for cold water holding pools. And so there was a few in the upper Blackville area where tubers were coming in. So what we did is, with permission of the landowners, the MSA put up signs to tell tubers to avoid areas. And so last weekend it did work pretty good. So thank you, tubers, for obeying the signs and not harassing the fish, intentionally or unintentionally. But when they're crowded into one of those cold water areas, we don't want them disturbed. So everyone's been obeying the signs to date pretty good. Another thing that happened over the last little while was the announcement of Canada's Ocean Super Cluster. And this one program, the Ocean Aware program, there's $29 million being allocated to it to develop the technology to track fish, in this case salmon, in the open ocean. And this technology will be used for a variety of species of fish and mammals and whatever. But currently we are able to track using fixed stations. And so when we put transmitters on fish in the Miramichi, we have stations all along down the river and at the mouth of the bay, and the Strait of Belle Isle is near enough that you can put some receivers across there. But as fish go out into the open North Atlantic, you don't know where they're going. And we've tried these pop-off tags, satellite tags, which you can put on the fish and they pop off after a certain time and download the information. But salmon are really too small a fish to be putting pop-up tags on. It's meant for sharks and whales and so on. Anyway, this technology should be able to, once developed, be able to track in the open ocean. So a part of that, $2 million of that 29, is going to be doing a pilot project here on the Miramichi through CAS and the MSA. So we'll capture smolts and put transmitters on as part of that work of tracking. So that won't happen for a few years yet. The money is there to develop the technology, but hopefully, if it works, we'll be in business here. And we need to find out what's happening in the ocean, where salmon are dying. So that was very another thing that happened is COVID-19 has really delayed everything when it comes to smallmouth bass eradication on the Miramichi. But one of the keys is using the electrofishing boat that DFO has. And again, because of COVID-19, it's been difficult to get that boat out into the river. So we wanted to go to McKeel Pond on the Southwest Miramichi, where we found 99% of the smallmouth bass. And it's a very slow-moving section of river, deep with big boulders in it, ideal smallmouth bass habitat. So J.D. Irving put a new road in with a boat launch, and so a group from DNR and ASF were out a week ago, and in one day with the electric fishing boat they caught 25 smallmouth bass. And from the comments is that they are immature and all around the same age. So it was a family unit type of thing that was there. So now that we got in once, the plan is to keep going back and to try to minimize those numbers, because obviously at this late stage of the game, there's still an environmental assessment impact study to be done on the eradication, and we still don't have permits yet from Fisheries and Oceans that the eradication will not take place in this fall. It's supposed to be in September. So the plan now is to try to minimize the numbers in the river and do it next year. As well as our electrofishing program has started at the MSA, where we are checking to see if salmon got above beaver dams that we removed last year and it had spawned. And I know that they were out at Betts Mills Brook in Doketown, for example, huge blockages there at the culvert under Route 8 last fall. We were able to get those out, and there is successful spawning up through that area. So that's part of the work that they're doing, is to follow up to see if our beaver dam removal and our fry stocking programs, if they have taken and if there's fish there. So that's ongoing. And I guess our auction ended this past week, our online auction, and we had very good participation in that. And we've had a couple of rollovers in our toonie draw, but it was won this week by Jean Knowles from Miramichi, and that was $812. And of course, she donated a portion back, which we want to thank Jean for doing that. Other than that, warm weather ahead, so there's not going to be too much happening in the salmon world for the next week or so. But we are, through the Watershed Committee, planning on having a stocking workshop next week, where we will discuss these different strategies for stocking and the directions that we would like to see happen here on the Miramichi. So that'll be more than one meeting, but we're going to start on that exercise next week. Okay, until next week, take care.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on that notification bell so that you can stay up to date with everything happening here at the Miramichi Salmon Association.